Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Backpack Trader Trading Room for Thursday, November 13th, 2025. Please note the required risk disclosure. This room is for educational and information purposes only. It is not financial advice. Trade your charts, not mine. These are just examples. Trading of this type carries substantial risks and should only be attempted with funds you can afford to do without. All right, this is our only session today, so we'll do away with the disclosure. Crude is in a little short trade. I didn't mark that up right. I took that down to 96 for an entry. Just barely got triggered in. Came down to the entry at 99. So I just adjusted down to 98. And at the time we were right at the 20. So actually with that 2097 is probably a better place. Micro Russell is flat. That was a break-even stop out. YM has a get in sync short. Market will open in less than 2 minutes. Soybeans in a long trade that's gone too far, so we'll look for a new entry there. Unleaded took the short, stopped and reversed into the long. Looks like we got target one as high as 063. Target one was 062. So target one traders, this will be a POQ trade. Pound Aussie had the short trade, and here's another short trade. Since the long is gone way too far. Target 2 will be our first actionable target on this one. 2 positions coming off. Market is open, and we are in the long. That had plenty of time to get in. Money management and maybe even target. Yeah, there's target 1. So that's going to be a one and done session on the YM. That fast. And stopping out on the trailer. So YM is done. That was quick. We'll move unleaded up there. And see what's going to happen on the micro NQ. Looks like we have we're in a short here. We wait 4 minutes after market open for the micro NQ. So this trade is trailing now, so definitely gone too far to get involved in. drop down, stopping out of that trade. So we'll wait for a new trade in a little over 2 minutes. Long trade on the micro Russell. To be in that, you have a similar trade on your charts. That's 1.2. We need 2 ticks. So that's going to be 45 flat. We got target 1. We're looking for target 2. Long trade on the micro NQ, still too early. Is a get in sync. Still another minute to go before we can start taking trades on the micro NQ. Soybeans with a long trade set up. Kind of hiding on the chart there. And I believe that triggered in. I'd like to adjust that around the session high. And the session high was just set. So yeah, I think that's, make it 44 flat. All right. Targets 3 and 4. So this is a win on the micro Russell. Needless to say, that's our first trade there. And this is a valid short trade. We're into our time slot on the micro NQ. Money management at the session low. Micro Russell pushing up strongly. Unleaded still kind of, actually looks like unleaded stopped out at break even because of the stop and reverse adjustment. And we come back to the short side on the micro Russell. Looks like we're gonna need about, yeah, we're gonna need 5 ticks, which I think we got 44.5. Yep, we got that, and so we stopped out at break even, which would have been right there. So a win to break even on going through all 3 targets on the micro NQ, 2, 3, and 4. Back down to the entry on crude. Trade number 1 is the winner. We do stop and reverse, or we go into the short on the pound Aussie. No stop and reverse because we weren't in the trade. Unleaded is flat. Micro NQ trailing down, trailer below target 4. And this is a big winner. Crude testing the 200 EMA. Another short trade on the micro Russell. Another slightly smaller trade. We're going to need 5 ticks again to get our 14 tick minimum. 39.5. And the micro NQ did stop out. 377 flat. Soybeans has never triggered the adjusted entry. So it's still flat. And that is a loss, full loss on micro Russell. So a win, a break even, and a loss. Now a long trade. Need 2 ticks. 46.0. And taking a loss on the long. And now back into another short on micro NQ. Pushing down. And I believe, nope, just missed money management. No trigger on the long on micro Russell. Now we are in a short. That's approaching session lows. Need 3 ticks to get to our 14 tick minimum. It's going to be a 39.0. Crude still short. Unleaded flat. Soybeans is still flat. And we have, oh, nope, we just missed money management. So we take a full loss, and that's 1, 2, 3 full losses. That ends the session on the micro NQ. And that's going to be close to a break-even session because of how strong that first trade was. 3 losses is going to be 186 points. Yeah, no wicks on any of those. So we get 28.5, 40.5, 52.5. 121.5. So that knocks off 2. And we went well beyond the 50.5. We went from 447.5 to 377, 70.5. So we're about 7 points. Yeah, we're 7 points positive after those 4 trades. All of $14. All right, we take a target 3 and 4 win. That's win number 2. So we took a loss there. Win number 2 on target 4. Take another loss there. 2 losses, and we go short. Down 3. We did hit money management. This is the final trade. Trade number 5. And we do hit money management, almost target. There is target 3. So final fixed goal is target 4. We did take a stop on the pound Aussie. Crude still short, playing around the 200 EMA. Looking like there's target 4 on the micro Russell, and starting to trail down now. So that's 3 wins, a break even, and 2 losses. All 3 wins target 4, 3 and 4, so we will definitely be positive on the micro Russell. Right, unleaded can come back to where it belongs. We're done with the micro NQ this morning. And our final trade stops out at 36.6 on the micro Russell. Winning session. So we have unleaded, crude, YM is done. Soybeans is flat, no trades yet. Pound Aussie's taking a one full loss. So we have Pound Aussie, unleaded, crude, and soybeans. 4 charts still active. We also have a 10 o'clock mini session on crude coming up. There is an inventory report today, but it is at noon. So I'm not doing a session on that. All right, crude bouncing off the 50 EMA, right back up at the entry again, between right at the entry and 200 EMA. Unleaded still flat, soybeans still flat. Pound Aussie, unleaded, and soybeans all flat along the bottom. Crude in the short, first trade of the morning. Unleaded with a stop and reverse and a break even. Actually, target 1 and break even. Actually, let's see. We lose on the stop and reverse. 014 to 037, I believe it was. Yeah. 23 ticks. Down 46. Target 1 on that trade with a 4-tick adjustment was 17. No, I'm sorry. 15. 25. So 25 from 46 is 21. And we get 1. So we're down 20. So actually, both target 1 and target 2 traders still looking for trades. No change. Crude short right at the entry again. And right at the entry at 97. And count all 3 along the bottom are flat. There's a long trade on unleaded. Entry at 027. Money management at 051. Targets at 054 and 070. Soybeans triggers into the long. And Pound Aussie triggers into a short. Hoping the Pound Aussie is kind of running out of gas here. Unleaded on the January contract, it rolled over yesterday. Crude still on December. volume transition to January on unleaded. There we go. Yesterday, 77 to 66 for the January contract. So we are trading, and we're 13 to 7 today. So definitely trading unleaded. Our January contract on unleaded. Crude still going sideways. We did trigger into the long on unleaded. So soybeans is long, unleaded is long, pound Aussie is short, crude is short. Testing the 20 SMA now on crude. It looks like we're bouncing off the 20 on the pound Aussie. Crude and unleaded on opposing trades. Support seems to be below, so looks like the long trade on unleaded is probably the better. But you don't know until it resolves. Looks like an up close here. It should give us a yellow trade on crude getting along. Trade off the 50 EMA. Looks like we're pushing up above the $59 mark. Still testing the 20 SMA. Looks like 08 would, actually 11 will be the stop and reverse. 08 would be the standard entry. 10 key level to 11 for the stop and reverse. All right. There's our long stop and reverse, so it is at 11. It is not yet triggered. We got the unadjusted entry, but not the adjusted entry. Not a whole lot of movement. Pound Aussie still right around the entry. Kind of testing in between the balance line and the 20 SMA. Crude pulling back to test the 200 again. Unleaded going sideways. Soybeans is kind of pausing here. Not much action. We are at 10 o'clock. So that means the stop and reverse is a 10 a.m. mini session trade. All right, soybeans hits target 1. Stop comes up 2. Okay, I used 44 flat, so it will be 44 and a quarter. Still short pound Aussie. Long unleaded, long soybeans, and short on crude. Soybeans setting new session highs, 46 and a quarter. And back to it again. 47 and a half for target 2. Unleaded with a stop and reverse short possibility. Entries at 14, so it'll be 09. And I believe, yep, we did reverse. That's a small trade. 10 tick minimum. Yeah, yep, we're going to be. All right, we're going to go to 89.99 for money management. Target 1 will be 81.90 or 89.99. Target 2 89.89. Crude bouncing off the 20 or 50 EMA, it looks like. See if that holds. Soybeans setting a new session high at 47 flat. We need 47 and a half for target 2. Got to 47.25. And there's 47.5. Target 2 on soybeans. This is, of course, a one and done. Going to be a one and done session for soybeans. 2 targets already in hand. Two tick adjustments. So we have 8 and 14. 22 ticks in hand. That's 5.5 points. Crude still long. Unleaded stopped out of the short. Unfortunately, that little bitty stop in reverse got us in trouble. Four trades. 2 stop and reverse losses, partial losses, and 1 full loss, and a break even. Or actually, a target 1 and break even. Soybeans closing in on target 3. Target 3. That's another 22 ticks. Actually, 20 ticks. So that'll be another 5 points. Stop hasn't moved from our original, although it's gonna move now. Move up a tick to 44.5 on the close of this bar. Got a session high at 48.75. Target at 49. Pound Aussie back below the entry, making some progress there. Crude pushing back up toward the entry, toward its entry. 11. Back up to 07, 08. And there's the stop move on soybeans. I didn't do it the way I normally run. When I get within one tick, the first time I'll come back to the prior, I'll bring that position stop to the prior target. So I would actually have taken target 3 position off at target 2 for another 14 ticks, 3.5 points, so that's 9 points net. Not going to risk going all the way back to the trailing stop at this point when it gets that close to target. It's not worth fighting that hard over one tick. So now let's see, we still have the trailing position in play. Crude got back to the unadjusted entry at 08. That's as high as it's gotten. Actually, we are still short there. There's the long trade. So we go long on crude now. Crude was actually still remained short. We just went long at 59.11. Looks like we'll get another one tick move of the stop on soybeans on the close of this bar. So that was actually the end of the 9 o'clock session was loss from 58.99 to 59.11, so 24 tick loss. And now we're in the long trade from 11 for the 10 o'clock session. So that's where we are with the long. Excuse me. Pound Aussie short. Soybean stop moved up. Pound Aussie right back at the entry again. Entry was 117. Crude with another pullback into the 20. Crude just kind of going sideways, oscillating back and forth between the 50 is just about to cross over the 200, cross above. But you got all three moving averages below the current price. It's like a two-ticket movement coming on the soybean stop. Unleaded setting new session highs. 9096, 97 looks like. No, 99 is what it got up to. Pound Aussie making another attempt. Push down. That looks to be a fairly balanced market right now after a strong move up overnight. All right, not much. Pound Aussie looks like it's pulling up back toward the entry. Crude back to the 20 SMA. Unleaded still flat. And soybeans still long. Trailer at 44 3/4. I've already taken my target 3 position off. Did that at target 2, but if we hit full target and you didn't do that, pick up an extra 1.5. What was our loss in this kind of Aussie trade? 22 pip risk. So we're down 110. 5-position trade. There is our stop move on soybeans. Comes up to 45 flat. Next up close, looks like it will get us to 45 3/4, but it's got to close up. Down close is going to be below the balance, below the signal line. And the pound Aussie pulling back up to the entry again. Going to test the balance line there first, and then the 20 SMA above that, slightly above that. Unleaded with short trade. Trade number 5, if it triggers in. Stop is at 97 with the session high at 99. I'm going to go ahead and move that to 2000 or to 9101. No trigger yet on that unleaded trade. Filtered trade. Oh, that is just barely a squeeze zone short on crude. Entry is fraction of a tick below the 200, and the 50 is pinching up toward the 200. So we stay in the long. And we're up above, pound Aussie's up above the 20 SMA. Buyers seem to be taking over there a little bit again. Crude bounced off of those moving averages. It didn't even quite get down to them. It seems to be rejected pretty hard from about 97. 295 and 50 at 94 right now. All right, soybeans did move up. It looks like it just stopped out. Trailer stops out at 46 and a quarter. So that is 1 tick, 9 ticks, 2 1/4 points. So 11 1/4 points. If you took target 3 off at target 2 on the trade, 512.50, 1 contract positions at each target and the trailer. So soybeans is done. Unleaded with a potential long trade here. Definitely going to be within proximity to the 20 SMA. And our low is 89. That means bar will close at 09 and give us an entry at 11. That looks like what we've got right now. $49 for the stop. And that's what our stop and entry look like if it goes ahead up. Low is still 89, so that's still where we would be. Crude made it up to the 11 entry again. Pound Aussie with a potential stop and reverse. That's at 131, so the reversal would be at 133. $17 to 33. It's 16 ticks, 16 pips. That would be another 80 pip loss if it hit. And it just triggered. So we go long on Pound Aussie. So we're down 190. Pretty big hole to dig out of there. All right, the short trade on unleaded canceled. You just can't get away from those moving averages on crude. Right back down to the 50 again. Will it reject this time? All right, 2 ticks for money management on the pound Aussie trade. Actually, that may need to move. Let's see. 33 goes to 45. So we go up another 7. 146. Okay. Yeah, that goes up to 45. So we got to get a little higher because of the stop and reverse adjustment. And crude ends up with a full stop out. Okay, we're 30 minutes into the crude session, 36 minutes into the crude session. Crude and unleaded are not doing a whole lot. Pound Aussie's trying to recover from a pretty deep hole. Soybeans is done. No short there. No short trade on crude. And yeah, we can get a short trade here on unleaded. High is 68. Bar closes at 48. There it is at 44. That's a get in sync because that was definitely too fast to be traded. I think we're 106 for the stop. This is a get in sync trade on the short. That pushed in and came back a little too quickly. Okay, we do have money management on the pound Aussie. So we got 45.5 and I believe 46. Yeah, there's target 1. Yep. So there is target 1. Next goal target is target 2. Target 1 was worth 13 pips. And our stop will come up to 134. Ah, that is not nice. But As I said, that's a get in sync. We didn't get down there, didn't go back down there. It's get in sync. It's not in this trade yet on unleaded. So down 177 pips on pound Aussie at this point. 4 positions remaining. So crude is flat. Partial loss in the 9 a.m. session, one trade. Full loss on the 10 a.m. session trade. Crude heading down again. See if it gets us in this trade. Pound Aussie setting new session highs. 48.9 on new session high. 148.9. 149.0. 49.4. So still pushing up. 49.7. Target 2 is up there at 156. And pushing up above 151. Almost 153 now. Just over 3 pips to target 2. Target 2 is worth 25 pips, or 23 pips. Stop and reverse adjustment, taking off 2. Over 153, almost 154 now. Two plus pips away. 1.1, 11 ticks. From the high to target 2. And it looks like 1 tick away from entry on the unleaded trade. And we do go short on unleaded. Looks like we're going to move up a couple of pips. Well, let's see. Actually, no, we're gonna move up to where the stop is now. At 134 on the close of this bar. Up or down. Oh, unleaded bouncing off the 50 EMA. There's the stop move to 134. Next move looks to be 138. It goes down. No, it's not going to go up any higher. Yeah, 138 will be the next move if we get it up close. Down close will get us below the balance line and the stock will not move. Ten minutes left in the 10 a.m. crude mini session. We hit 11 o'clock and haven't resolved. Oh, the unleaded trade is moving, starting to move nicely. Oh my goodness. Unleaded back to the entry. Pound Aussie still long. Unleaded short. And crude flat. Okay, still short on unleaded, flat on crude, and we are just about out of the session for crude. Still long on the pound Aussie. Not much going on. 2 minutes till 11 o'clock. All right, less than a minute. That is going to be an exit point on pound Aussie. I'm not going to adjust. 139 would have been the exit point. 4 positions. 5. So 20 pips. 33 pips. Okay. I'm down 157 pips, so not a stellar morning there. That actually would be a good trade, but I'm just going to exit based on the time. And we are past 11 o'clock. So the crude session is done. Still in the short trade on unleaded, and that would be the final trade of the morning. There. That's trade number 5. Not going to take another one at this late date. But I am going to call it a morning. We will see everybody next week, Tuesday at 9:30. Everybody have a good one. We will do Tuesday and Wednesday. No room on Thursday next week because of Thanksgiving. Oh, no, it's not Thanksgiving next week. Regular session next week. Sorry. That's the week after. Regular sessions, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday next week. We'll go to Thanksgiving the following week. Everybody have a good one, and we will see everybody next week.